Hello grade 1s and 2s, welcome to our science lesson. Can any of you remember what did we study in science last term? That's right, the 5 senses. Can you remember what they were? Taste, smell, sight, touch and hearing. Right. And if you can't hear, we learned that you are hearing impaired or deaf, and we remember we learned some sign language. And if you can't see, then you are blind. And remember we said that blind people use braille to read. It's like little bumps. Well, I was giving one of my children some Panado, and I noticed on the side of the Panado box is actually braille. So if you've got one of these boxes in your cupboard, maybe mommy gives it to you or to a brother or sister, then you must go and get it out your cupboard and see if you can spot the braille on the side. It's quite cool. I'll show you when we get back. Okay, our new science module for this term is going to be mammals. Now I want to read to you in the Bible when God first created mammals. Can you guess what day he created it on? We know on day 7 he rested. Can you think what day? You guessed so long. What day do you think God made mammals on? Okay, listen up. God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, livestock, creatures that move along the ground, and wild animals, each according to its kind." And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. God's creation is good. Mammals are good, and they're very interesting. Did you notice that God makes things each according to their kind? He made the world in a very structured, orderly kind of way. And in science, we call these classifications or species. It just means that we've grouped animals along certain groupings, along certain terminology. Okay, before we start, I want you to think of an animal. Okay, I have thought my favorite animal today is a panda. I don't actually have a favorite animal. I would probably say a giraffe or an elephant. If it was a domestic animal, maybe a dog. But today I really do love pandas. This panda we got for Graham in China at the Beijing Zoo. There's a beautiful China exhibit, and we saw some real life pandas, and Graham wasn't born yet, but we bought this for him as his first teddy bear, and he calls him Pandemonium. So here we've got Pandemonium. Now what's your animal? You've got to get an animal into your head. What do you like? Maybe a ladybird or a dolphin or a cheetah. Choose an animal and just hold that in your head, because we're going to be discussing our new science module, mammals, and then you need to tell me at the end of this lesson, is the animal in your head a mammal? And we'll decide whether Pandemonium over here is in fact a mammal. We're going to look at certain criteria, and then we'll discuss, does he meet the criteria? Is Pandemonium a mammal, and is your animal in your head a mammal? Okay, so let's start. So the thing about mammals is that they feed their young milk. The moms feed their babies milk. So if you look at these pictures, I'll hold it up so you can see. We've got on the one side a cow with her calf, and she's drinking milk from her mom. And on the other one, we've got some kittens. And on the other side, there's a worm with her babies are eating leaves. So do you think which one is feeding their young milk? The cows are, the cats are, but the worms, they can't be mammals because they're not feeding their young milk. Those little worms are eating leaves, so they are not mammals. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Another thing about mammals is that they give birth to live young. So you can see on the one side here, the chicken lays an egg. The egg is not live young, it's still in a little egg, it's still got to hatch. But on the other side you see a little goat, and that mommy has given birth to a live goat. It's not in an egg, it's alive already. So let's say the chicken is not a mammal, but the goat is a mammal, gives birth to live young. Okay, mammals are covered with fur. So we've got a picture of a panda here. Hey, it's a panda, like pandemonium over here. And he is covered in fur. So he is a mammal. Whereas we've got a little chameleon over here. He doesn't have any fur, so he is not a mammal. He belongs to a different group, but not mammals. Okay, the panda is a mammal. Okay, another thing about mammals is that they have 4 legs. They live on land, most of them. There are some mammals that live in the sea, but we're going to talk about those on a different day. Okay, so today we're discussing mammals that mostly live on land, have 4 legs, and have ears that stick out. And here we've got a beautiful example of an elephant. Now the elephant obviously has big ears that stick out. He's got 4 legs and he lives on land, so he gets a thumbs up. The elephant is a mammal. The next thing about mammals is that they have lungs to breathe air. Now the dog, you can see him panting over there. He definitely has lungs. He breathes air. And on the other side, we've got a goldfish. Does a goldfish have lungs? No, goldfish breathe through their gills. They take the oxygen out of the water that way. They're not breathing air with lungs. So the goldfish, not a mammal. The dog, yes, he is a mammal. Okay, the last thing that we're going to learn about mammals today is that they are warm-blooded. That means that they can regulate their own temperature. They've got warm blood. So some animals, like a snake, reptiles often, they have cold blood. So that means they need to lie in the sunshine to warm up. They rely on other sources to make them warm. So you can see over here, he has a lizard. He's sitting on the rock trying to get warm because his blood is cold. So he is not a mammal. The polar bear is a mammal. You can see he's got some fur and he's wandering around. He's not cold. He's able to regulate his own temperature because he's warm-blooded. Okay, so those are the things we learned about mammals. Can you remember all the things that are the right criteria for being a mammal? Let's go through them again. This time I want you to think of your animal and see if he fits all the categories. Okay, it's got to fit all of them to be a mammal. Maybe you've already seen your animal. I saw a panda there, so I think I'm feeling confident that my one is a mammal. But let's check. So your animal, in order to be a mammal, it's got to tick all these categories. Does your animal drink milk from their mom as a baby? Was your animal live? Did his mom give live birth to him, or was it born in an egg? Does your mammal have fur, or at least at some point in their life have fur? Does your animal live on land? Remember, there are some mammals that don't live on land. We're going to talk about them a different day. If you chose a sea animal, then you'll need mom or dad's help right now to decide whether they are a mammal or not. Do they have 4 legs and ears that stick out? This one doesn't apply to the sea mammals. And lastly, does your animal have lungs to breathe air? Okay, did your animal fit all of the criteria? Is it a mammal? I want to know. When we get back, you're going to tell me. Oh, wait, we've got one more. Is your animal warm-blooded? So was it a reptile, a snake, a lizard? Those are not mammals. They have to lie in the sun to get warm. Was your animal warm-blooded? Can they regulate their own temperature? Okay, so now you've decided. So pandemonium, you've got the tick. You are, in fact, a mammal. Pandas are mammals. Actually very special mammals because they are endangered, which we're going to talk about on a different day. That means that there are not many left of them in the world. Okay, I want you to open your workbooks. So you have your workbooks at home with you, and one of them is called Workbook 1. And I want you to open up to the next clean page, and you are going to cut out from a magazine examples of all different mammals. Now I'm going to check, did you cut out pictures of mammals? Can you remember what a mammal is and isn't? If there's a picture of a snake in your picture, is that right? No. Is there a picture of a dog? Is that right? Yes, a dog is a mammal. So go through some magazines and cut out pictures of mammals and then stick it into your workbook. And why don't you get mom or dad to help you spell the word mammals, or I'll hold it up again. and you write that somewhere on your page. You can do it nice and big in the middle with lots of colors, or you can do a heading at the top. And I want you to stick all those pictures of mammals that you found. And then I want you, if you can't find enough pictures, maybe you don't have enough magazines at home, or you can print some. If mommy or daddy have a printer that can work, you can print some pictures of mammals, or you can just draw pictures. So you can take out your crayons from your pencil case and you can start drawing all the mammals that you can think of. Maybe you want to cut out a few, and then in the empty spaces you're going to draw the pictures. I want your page to just be full of mammals, okay? And we are going to carry on talking about them for the rest of term. All the interesting things about mammals, different kinds of mammals. It's going to be lots of fun. Okay, have a lovely day and enjoy doing your activity.